Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Word to World English. I'm so happy you're joining us today. Whether you're brand new here or you've been with us for a while, this is your place for real, natural English that you can actually use in your daily life.
Hey, everyone. So glad to be back. You know, something funny happened to me this morning. I was texting my friend and I wrote, "Please remember me to bring my book tomorrow." And she replied, "Remind you? Or are you talking to yourself?" And honestly, I had to laugh because I mixed them up completely.
Oh no, that's so relatable. I've done the exact same thing. I think this is one of those word pairs that looks simple on the surface, but trips up even pretty advanced learners. It happened to me in a work meeting once. I said, "Can you remember me about the deadline?" And my colleague looked confused. I wanted to disappear.
Right. And that's exactly what today's episode is all about. We're diving deep into remember and remind, two words that seem like they should mean the same thing, but they really don't. And once you understand the difference, you'll never mix them up again.
By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly when to use remember and when to use remind. You'll understand the structures that go with each word, you'll have a memory trick you can use forever, and you'll feel completely confident using both words in real conversations.
Here's a question for you before we start. Have you ever mixed up remember and remind, maybe in a text message, in a conversation, or in your writing? Tell us in the comments. We genuinely love to know because we've all been there.
And before we dive in, please like this video and subscribe to Word to World English if you haven't already. We put out new episodes regularly, and every single one is built to help your English sound more natural and confident. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss one.
All right, let's get into it. We're going to start with remember, which is actually the trickier one because it has more uses. Once we nail that, remind will make perfect sense.
Okay, so let's talk about remember. At its heart, remember is about your own memory. It's about what's inside your head. When you remember something, the information comes from you, from your own mind. Nobody else is involved. It's a completely personal, internal process.
The basic structure is simple. Subject plus remember plus what you remember. So, I remember your birthday. She remembered the answer. We remembered to lock the door. In all of these, the person is accessing their own memory. The information was already inside them, and now they're bringing it forward.
Let me give you some really everyday examples. I remember my first day of school. I was so nervous. That's a memory from my past. Do you remember what she said? Asking someone to access their memory. I can't remember where I put my keys. We've all said that one, right?
Totally. And here's an important and really common use. Remember plus to plus verb. This means you don't forget to do something. Remember to call your mom. Did you remember to turn off the lights? I always remember to bring my umbrella, and then it never rains. This structure is everywhere in daily English.
And there's another pattern too. Remember plus verb-ing with the ing form. But this one has a different meaning. I remember locking the door. This means I have a memory of doing it in the past. I can actually picture myself doing it. Versus, I remembered to lock the door. That means I didn't forget to do it. Same word, slightly different structure, different meaning. Interesting, right?
That's such a good point. Here's a quick example to make it clear. I remember meeting her. I have a memory of that moment. I can recall it. I remembered to meet her. I didn't forget our appointment. Can you hear the difference? Say both out loud and really feel how they're different. Here's a question for you before we start. Have you ever mixed up remember and remind? Maybe in a text message, in a conversation, or in your writing? Tell us in the comments. We genuinely love to know because we've all been there.
And before we dive in, please like this video and subscribe to Word to World English if you haven't already. We put out new episodes regularly, and every single one is built to help your English sound more natural and confident. Hit that subscribe button.
Now, the negative form, I don't remember. I can't remember. She doesn't remember. I don't remember where I put my phone. He can't remember her name. These are incredibly common in everyday English. And I'll be honest, I can't remember is something I say about 5 times a day.
Can you make a sentence right now using remember? Think of something from your childhood, a place, a person, a moment, and say, I remember, out loud. Go on, try it. And if you want to share it with us, drop it in the comments. We genuinely love reading your sentences. So to wrap up this section, remember is about your own internal memory. It comes from inside you. The key structures are remember plus noun, remember plus to plus verb, don't forget to do something, and remember plus verb ing, have a memory of doing something in the past. 3 structures, all from inside your own head. Now let's bring in remind and see how it's completely different.
All right, here's where it gets really clear. Remind is the opposite direction from remember. While remember is about your own internal memory, remind is about doing something to someone else's memory. You are the trigger. You cause someone else to remember something they might have forgotten.
The structure here is subject plus remind plus person plus about something, or subject plus remind plus person to do something. So, can you remind me about the meeting? You're asking someone to trigger your memory. I'll remind you to take your medicine. You're going to trigger their memory. See? Someone does something to someone else.
Real life examples. My mom always reminds me to eat breakfast. She's giving me a nudge, triggering my memory. Can you remind me about the homework? I might forget and I need someone to bring it back to my attention. He reminded his team about the deadline. He triggered their memory so they wouldn't forget.
Let's do a quick dialogue to show how they work together. Imagine it's Monday morning. I say to you, hey, can you remind me to send that email this afternoon? And then later that afternoon, you say to me, oh, remember that email you had to send? And I say, oh, right, I completely forgot. Thanks for reminding me. See how remind is the action between 2 people and remember is what happens inside my head?
That's such a perfect example. And here's the formal versus informal comparison. In formal settings like a workplace, you'd say, I'd like to remind everyone that the report is due Friday. Very professional. In casual conversation, hey, just reminding you about tonight. Much more relaxed. Same structure, totally different feel.
There's also a really beautiful pattern. Remind someone of something. This means something triggers a feeling or a memory. This song reminds me of my grandmother. That smell reminds me of home. You remind me of my best friend from school. In these cases, it's not a deliberate action. It's just that something naturally triggers a memory you're feeling.
Oh, that's such a lovely use. Here's a quick practice. Think of a song, a smell, or a place that reminds you of something or someone. Say it out loud. This reminds me of... Write your answer in the comments. This is one of our favorite prompts because the answers are always so beautiful and personal. Here's your 3-part tip for remind. First, remind always involves 2 people, or at least 2 parties. Someone reminding someone else. Second, remind plus person plus to plus verb is for tasks and actions. Remind me to call. Third, remind plus person plus of something is for feelings and memories. Reminds me of home. 3 clear patterns, 3 different situations.
Brilliant. So the big contrast is this. Remember is internal. It's inside you. Remind is external. It goes from one person to another. Remember equals I access my own memory. Remind equals I activate someone else's memory. That's the heart of it. Let's take this even deeper in the next section.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the whole episode because I'm going to give you a memory trick that will make sure you never confuse these 2 words again. And I mean never. Once you hear this, it's going to click permanently.
I love this trick. Go ahead, tell him.
Okay, so here it is. Look at the word remind. See the word mind in there? Your mind is your brain. It's where memories live. So remind means to put something back into someone's mind. You're reactivating their mind about something. Re plus mind equals do something to someone's mind again.
And then remember. See the word member in there? A member is part of a group. So when you remember something, that memory becomes a member of your thoughts again. It comes back and joins your conscious mind. It's already yours. It's already inside you. It just rejoins your awareness.
So, remind, you do it to someone's mind. Remember, the memory becomes a member of your thoughts again. 2 words hidden inside 2 words. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Say it with me. Remind, remember. Can you feel the difference now?
That trick genuinely changed how I think about these words. Okay, let's look at some advanced uses that come up a lot in real conversations. First, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, this is a polite way of saying you're pretty sure about something from your memory, but you're leaving room to be wrong. If I remember correctly, the meeting is at 3. Super common in professional English.
Another one. As far as I can remember. This means to the best of your memory. As far as I can remember, we've never met before. Or, as far as I can remember, that restaurant was on the left side of the street. These phrases make you sound very natural and native.
And for remind, does this remind you of anything is a great conversation starter. This situation reminds me of something that happened to me years ago. That movie really reminded me of my childhood. These are the kinds of natural expressions that make your English sound rich and authentic.
Let's do a mini practice together. I'm going to say something, and you tell me, does it use remember or remind? Ready? Situation 1. You want to ask a friend not to let you forget to buy milk on the way home. What do you say to them? Can you remind me to buy milk? Because you're asking them to trigger your memory, to do something to your mind. If you said, can you remember me to buy milk? That doesn't work. Remember doesn't take a person as its object like that. You can't remember someone. You can only remind someone. Exactly. And that's actually the number 1 mistake we're going to talk about in the next section. Situation 2. You're thinking back to a holiday you had 5 years ago, and a warm feeling comes over you. What do you say? I remember that holiday so well. Or that photo reminds me of our holiday. Both work, but they mean slightly different things. The first is you accessing your own memory. The second is the photo triggering that memory for you. Did you get it? Say your answer out loud, and then we'll move on to common mistakes. All right, so we've got the memory trick. Remind goes to someone's mind. Remember brings a member back to your thoughts. We've got the advanced phrases, and we've practiced the difference in real situations. Now let's look at the mistakes that are tripping up English learners every single day.
Okay, confession time. I made every single one of these mistakes at some point, and I'm going to tell you about them so you can skip right past them. These are the big ones, the ones that native speakers notice immediately.
Mistake number 1, and this is the biggest one, using remember when you need remind with a person. People say, can you remember me to bring my laptop? But the correct version is, can you remind me to bring my laptop? Here's why. Remember cannot take a person as its object. You cannot remember someone to do something. Remind takes a person. Remember does not.
Think about it this way. If you say, remember me to do something, you're asking me to use my own memory. But then why am I asking you? It doesn't make logical sense. When you want someone else to help you not forget, you always use remind. Remind me. Remind him. Remind the whole team. Always remind when someone else is doing the triggering.
Mistake number 2, using remind without a person. People say, I reminded to call her,
But the correct version is I remembered to call her, or I reminded myself to call her. Remind needs a person in the sentence. Remind me, remind him, remind yourself. Without a person, the sentence is incomplete. If there's no person being reminded, switch to remember.
Mistake number 3. Confusing remember plus verb ing and remember plus to plus verb. People mix these up and end up saying something completely different from what they mean. I remembered closing the window. I have a memory of doing it. I can picture it. I remembered to close the window. I didn't forget to do it. These are two different things. The ing form is about a past memory. The to plus verb form is about not forgetting a task.
Here's a funny example of how wrong this can go. Imagine someone asks, "Did you remember to lock the door?" And you say, "I remember locking it." That actually makes sense. You're saying, yes, I have a memory of doing it. But if someone asks, "Do you remember our first meeting?" And you say, "I remembered to meet you," that sounds very strange, like you almost forgot to show up to meet them for the first time.
Mistake number 4. It reminds to me instead of it reminds me. The word order trips people up. This song reminds to me of home. Incorrect. This song reminds me of home. Correct. The person comes straight after remind, no to in between. Remind me. Remind him. Remind her. No preposition needed between remind and the person.
Quick practice for each mistake. For mistake 1, say out loud, "Can you remind me to send that email?" For mistake 2, say, "I remembered to take my medicine this morning." For mistake 3, say both and feel the difference. I remember visiting Paris, and I remembered to visit the museum. For mistake 4, say, "This place reminds me of my hometown." Go ahead, say each one out loud.
Making mistakes is how every single fluent English speaker got to where they are. Nobody, and I mean nobody, learned a language without making mistakes. The fact that you're here, learning, paying attention, practicing, that already puts you ahead. Be kind to yourself and keep going. You're doing brilliantly.
Absolutely. And honestly, once you understand why these mistakes happen, you stop making them. It's not about memorizing rules. It's about understanding the logic. And you've got the logic now. Let's do some fun practice to lock it all in.
Practice time! We're doing choose the correct sentence. I'll give you 2 options for each situation. Pick the one that sounds natural to a native speaker. Say your answer out loud before we tell you. That's the most important step.
Situation 1. Your friend keeps forgetting to water their plants. You want to help. Option A, I'll remember you to water your plants every evening. Option B, I'll remind you to water your plants every evening.
Option B, because you are going to do something to their memory. You're the one triggering it. You'll remind them. You'll send a message, give a nudge, do something that activates their memory. Option A doesn't work because remember can't take a person as its object.
Situation 2. You're at a beautiful cafe that looks exactly like one you went to in Italy years ago. Option A, this cafe reminds me of a place in Italy. Option B, I remind this cafe of a place in Italy.
Option A, obviously. The cafe is the thing doing the triggering. It's causing a memory to surface in your mind. You don't remind the cafe of anything. The cafe reminds you. The subject is the thing that triggers the memory.
Situation 3, you need to tell someone that you haven't forgotten about a task. Option A, don't worry, I reminded to do it. Option B, don't worry, I remembered to do it.
Option B, I remembered to do it, means I didn't forget. I kept it in my memory and I did it. Option A doesn't work because remind needs a person after it. There's no one being reminded here. It's your own memory, so it's remember.
Situation 4. You're describing a memory from 10 years ago. Someone asks, did you do that on purpose? Option A, I remember doing it. I can picture the whole moment. Option B, I remembered to do it. I didn't forget to do it.
For this context, option A, I remember doing it, means you have a clear memory of that moment. You can recall it. Option B would mean you had a task to complete and you didn't forget to do it. Two different meanings, same-ish structure. The ing versus to plus verb distinction really matters here.
Now, here's your challenge. I want you to write one sentence using remember and one sentence using remind. Make them about your own real life. Drop them in the comments right now. Reading your sentences is genuinely one of our favorite parts of making this show. Don't aim for perfect, aim for real. Any attempt is a great attempt. And remember, the goal is real communication, not perfect grammar. A sentence that's slightly imperfect but spoken confidently will always connect better than a perfect sentence you're too afraid to say. Confidence first, accuracy follows. Keep going.
Wow, what an episode! I am so proud of everyone who made it all the way to the end, because this is genuinely one of those word pairs that even advanced learners mix up, and you just work through the whole thing. That's real progress, and you should feel great about it.
Let's do a quick recap of everything we covered. Number 1, remember is internal. It's about your own memory. You remember things from your own mind. Key structures: remember plus noun, remember plus to plus verb, don't forget to do something, remember plus verb-ing, have a memory of doing something past. Number 2, remind is external. One person triggers another person's memory. Key structures: remind plus person plus to plus verb for tasks, remind plus person of something for feelings and memories. Number 3, the memory trick. Remind goes to someone's mind. Remember brings a member back to your thoughts. You are making real, meaningful progress every single time you show up to learn like this. Language learning is a journey. It has ups and downs, easy days and hard days, but every episode you watch, every sentence you practice, every comment you write is one step closer to the confident English speaker you're becoming. Here's your reflective question for today. Think about something that always reminds you of happy memory. It could be a song, a smell, a place, a photo. Can you describe it using today's vocabulary? This reminds me of, or I always remember when I think about it, say it out loud, and if you'd like to share, well, right here in the comments. If this episode helped you, please give it a like. It genuinely helps more people find word-to-world English. Share it with a friend who's learning English and might be mixing these words up. Leave your 2 practice sentences in the comments and subscribe to Word-to-World English so you're always first to know when we drop a new episode, which is often. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Seriously, the fact that you chose to spend part of your day learning with us means everything. Keep practicing, keep speaking, keep believing that you can do this, because you absolutely can. We'll be right here every step of the way. See you next time.